We are the Liberty Intelligence Organization Network. And this is our news recap show. I am your host. You can call me the Captain. And, well, if you haven't figured it out by now, this special report is all about the final barriers against the New World Order takeover. And mainly there's really only one big one left. There's two, but one only has power with the other. It's like, you know, you need both the gauntlets of strength if you want to move the heavy blocks in The Legend of Zelda. You know, Link can't move the blocks with one glove. He needs both gloves. And they're tools, they're weapons for him to protect himself. Not only protect himself, but to protect the kingdom of Hyrule from an evil, tyrannical monster named Ganon, who wants to take over the kingdom of Hyrule. Can you believe it? And he's using all these secret, ancient mysteries and beliefs to take over the kingdom of Hyrule. Now, if you're following the analogy here, I was using the Nintendo video game The Legend of Zelda to relate to the struggle we're dealing with today and talking about the two final barriers, the First and the Second Amendment, freedom of speech, religion, press, and some more, and then the right to keep a weapon. Those are your two gloves to help, you know, fight the New World Order in the boxing ring. You know, here I am just spitting out analogies. But, you know, aside from all that, I want to take a step back, because in the last segment here I was going over the Founding Fathers and the Masonic stuff, and I mentioned stuff about stonemasons and mystery schools and all this ancient stuff, and I understood that before, I really want to do a whole broadcast to this. But here it is, special report time, and there's a reason I'm doing this special report, a number of reasons. But people really need to understand this, so let me just do a quick breakdown of it, as quick as possible, because I always run out of time when I try to film this. So this is, I'm going to delve into UFOs, and the connection between UFOs and Luciferianism, Satanism, demonic worship, pagan rituals. How do all these things intertwine with one another, and what do they have to do with the New World Order and the Illuminati? Well, this is the belief structure of the Illuminati. The Illuminati, the secret society, they believe in these ideals from mystery schools. Now, the mystery schools were centered in the Far East and the Middle East during, you know, ancient times, like 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 years ago, back when mankind was just starting out, back before Christianity truly existed, back when Judaism was really just starting to emerge. So you know, Judeo-Christian ideals really weren't in effect. There was this old system, this old belief structure, and it was a belief in many gods, and that transcribes to a lot of stuff in today, and I'm going to get into how it relates to UFOs. But basically, they had these beliefs that, you know, by worshiping these gods or offering, you know, rituals or sacrifices to these gods. Again, in some places, they even told people you have to, you know, offer your firstborn child to be sacrificed because the gods demand it, or, you know, the gods demand that 11 people sacrifice themselves, or the sun won't rise tomorrow and we'll have a bad harvest. And 11 volunteers would just raise their hand and say, ooh, you can sacrifice me. And they would literally want to do it because it forced people to believe this idea. And what is it? You know, what is Luciferianism? What is Satanism? What do Satanists really think? What do they really believe? Did they just worship a horned goat and say, oh, Satan, yay? No. They have their belief structures, just like all other religious ideals have their belief structures. Now, you have to understand Satanism, because the guys running the New World Order believe this. They believe it, okay? So it doesn't matter if you're even religious. You can be an anarchist and not believe in nothing. You know, an anarchist or an atheist. Usually they're one and the same. But you can be that, and it doesn't matter. These people believe it, okay? And that's what matters. And this is how they use it to manipulate others. So basically, they believed in this stuff. Now, the main teachings of the mystery schools is that through secret knowledge, through hoarding of secret knowledge, not letting anyone else know, through hoarding of secret knowledge, you can become a god. You understand that? They're saying you can become a god by using this secret knowledge. Well, I want to remind people, those of you who are Judeo-Christian or even Islam, because I'm pretty sure, I have to check, I got a copy of the Quran, I'll have to check again, but I'm pretty sure that even in Islam it has the same creation belief as the Garden of Eden. Now, the story behind the Garden of Eden is, you know, there's Adam and Eve and there's two trees. You know, there's really a garden of trees, but there's two big trees. There's a tree of life and there's the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And God creates a garden and he says to Adam and Eve, you know, don't eat from this tree. You know, he offers them, you can eat from the tree of life, but don't eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. But then the serpent shows up to Eve, and the serpent says, hey, why don't you eat from this tree? And Eve's like, no, we're not supposed to eat from that tree, it's bad. And, well, she didn't know what bad was because she hadn't eaten from the tree, so she just said, we're not supposed to do that. And the serpent said, well, I think you should do it. God doesn't want you to eat from it because the truth is, if you eat from this tree, you too can become a god. Now do you understand the deceit here, the deception? The same deception the mystery schools have. If you keep the secret knowledge to yourself, you can become a god. It's the same promise that the snake offered Eve. Of course, it didn't really work. The mystery school people, no matter how much they believe in the secret knowledge, they end up dying. You die. You are not a god. You cannot become a god. Well, that is the way that the New World Order thinks. They believe that through technology they can become gods. That's the lie that they've been offered. That's the deception that they believe. So that's really what it's all about. It's all about man can become God. Now, being a Christian, I've heard the argument to me, oh, it's funny to hear you saying that because you believe in Jesus Christ, a man who was a God. No, you got to understand, Jesus Christ was God becoming man. God chose to become man so that he could understand the life that man has to live and therefore die for his sins. That is why God became man. Man did not become God. God became man in the form of Jesus Christ. Okay, so that you have to understand that deception. Now I'm going to get into how this relates to UFOs. What does this relate to UFOs? And if you wonder what I'm looking at my notes. So how does this relate to UFOs and aliens? Well, the UFO alien stuff was really started out big in Roswell. That's the time it got big. It's been around for a long time. People have been seeing weird stuff in the sky. That's because there's been hidden technology. There's been mystery schools that keep secrets from people. But regardless, in the end of the 1940s, the UFO stuff really hit big, and it started infiltrating mass media and really the hearts and minds of the civilians. Let me do a time check. So basically, here's the deal with the UFOs. They convinced over time, that's how the New World Order likes to work, except for now. And we're going to get into that later in this broadcast, or in this special report. But the UFOs and aliens tie into all this stuff because, again, what are they trying to do? What is the ideal? If you watch Ancient Aliens, and I used to watch it big time, but I understand the propaganda for what it is nowadays, and if I watch it, it's just to learn how they're propagating people so I can, in turn, try to reinvent their free will. Reinvent, but remind them of their free will. But the UFO Ancient Alien belief is that, the gods of the past were really aliens. There are no gods, there's just aliens, this advanced evolutionary form of man that uses technology. That was gods, and they came to Earth and made mankind. These aliens created mankind. Now this, goes with two Luciferian ideals. First of all, it takes worship away from God. It's like there is no creator God. Second of all, it promotes the ideal that man can become God. We were created by aliens who evolved and who used technology to become like gods. So therefore, we can use technology to become like gods. Do you understand? Do you see the deception? Do you understand the Luciferian deception? And that's what it's all about, folks. That's what the New World Order believes. This is what they believe. So, you understand that the UFO alien stuff is really tied into Luciferianism, and it's all part of the deception to propagandize the people to the belief structure of the New World Order. Welcome, folks. This is the New World Order. And if you're not willing to become a slave to it, start waking other people up, otherwise it's going to happen. I don't know what else to say. Do something. Don't just sit there and watch the video and criticize people. Do something. Get off your butts and start doing something to save humanity. So that being said, I want to thank everyone for tuning in, as always, and remind everyone, stay safe, stay strong, stay free, stay informed.